right here on Cam Radio. We go ham. It's your boy Tony G, Big Lou. What's going on?
What's going on, everybody?
Not a whole lot. Got a lot of basketball to talk about. Last week I forgot to congratulate Shreveport Mudbugs for winning their championship. Forgot all about that. Got all tied up.
Yeah, congratulations to the Mudbugs.
Congratulations, yeah.
Big Mudbugs fan. Mudbugs turned me on turned me on. I was kind of a hockey guy before, but I went to a Mudbugs game live, and I got everything I wanted. I got good food, I got great seats, and I got a fight. So I got everything that I was looking for. It was a great game. Mudbugs won that game, actually. And, yeah, it was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, so congrats to them. It got it's going back to the gambling. Mm-hmm. We try to cover. And so the other thing is what I try to tell people is we're trying to have fun with it. Don't get too serious. There's actually a lawsuit going on where they're actually suing there's many companies out there that proclaim that they could have 70% winning and all that. Most of that stuff is a scam. I mean, so don't fall for that. You know what I mean? It's just, and the reason why I say that is if you have a good day gambling, it was a good day. That's it. Right. Don't think it's going to last forever or it's going to be some kind of miracle. And a lot of people, they've been duped over the years. You know, they pay for picks or they pay a monthly fee or, just the whole, I mean, there's a lot of guys that make a lot of money off that. I mean, they have sales teams. That's all they do is boiler room. So, hey, man, we're just trying to have some fun, kind of be like a Barstool's, what's Barstool Sports for?
Barstool Sports guy. We're like,
there you go. But gambling.
Take us too seriously, this is fun. We're just guys having fun. Talking sports, and this is what guys do. We talk, we try to, sweeten the pot a little bit. It's okay. It's okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It's not wrong. It's okay.
Tell me about your sons, man. What do you think?
Man, my sons, they've got
a shot
up 3-1.
Yep.
You've got a iffy jiffy Paul George. Kawhi is probably out for the whole playoffs. That's what everybody's speculating. And it is going to be tough for them to come back from 3-1 without Kawhi. And, and I think if everybody was on all cylinders with Paul George, they could probably win a cup. One, maybe I would say probably win another game, but I don't know. It just depends on how Phoenix show up because, yes, the Clippers have lost these games, but they barely lost these games. So they're not defeated. They're not defeated because the games they've lost, they've been in it, but they haven't been able to close it. And testing the fortitude, whatever you want to call it. But I do know that if they let Phoenix catch fire early, it's over with. They have.
I agree.
It's got to be low scoring, like it has been this whole series, And they kind of match up better, I think the Clippers got more depth, but you know what I'm saying. Phoenix is going back home. It's hard for me to say that it's hard for me to bet against the Suns in this game back home with the same mentality that we are close in these games. We're not out of these games. We're close. So if we go home, execute, we can take them.
Well, Chris Paul's playing great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it don't matter. I know I hate the old saying, whatever, but it don't matter if you win by 1 or 100. As long as you win, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all about the. But yeah, the Clippers are there. Chris Paul, he's got them playing. This is a well-rounded. Been in the league 16 years, 15 years,
15,
something like that. Yeah, 2005.
About as long as LeBron and He came in with he's with the LeBron Melo.
Sure did. Yeah. Melo. Okay. You know, this guy's got a great basketball knowledge. He's got that team. He's got them. Some may say he's got them playing a little bit higher than they really are.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. It's kind of, that's, let the truth be told. He's getting a lot out of what he has. I'll tell you that. I mean, really. I mean, they're great free throw shooters. I mean, they want you to follow them because they don't miss.
Right.
But I think the Suns. I think the Suns got this. They're going home, just like you said. Everything you hit on, I agree. We're going home, and then the games have been close. They've been good basketball. I mean, they've been good basketball.
Right. Good defensive play from both teams. You know, and that's why I say, you know, I don't see the Clippers winning, but they're not out of it. If they can keep it low and keep that D up like they've been playing and execute in those crucial moments, they'd probably be up, or it'd be 2-2 now.
Yeah, or 2-2, right?
It's execution. You know,
I think you're 100% on the
right.
Without the Suns, if the Suns come out and they get on fire early, it's over for the Clippers. The Clippers got to grind this out. This has got to be one of those. You just like it. What was it? 84-80. I think the Suns won. Yeah,
Suns. And another thing that's going to work against the Clippers is Pat Bev and those guys. They're not going to be able to bump and play as tough a defense as they want to. Now I will agree that the refs will let them play, but they're not going to be as physical as it was at the Staples Center.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they let them play, but they also let them get away with a little bit. And now they're going to the Suns. Is going to be home, so I definitely see it won't be as physical of a play. But it was a good game. Like I said, 84-80. And it was a good, and really that quarter, speaking of defense, fourth quarter, there was only 29 points scored. Combined. You know what I mean? That was combined.
Yeah. It wasn't like it was 29 points.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was.
That's excellent defense play, you know.
Yeah.
And those guys executed. They just couldn't hit the shots, and Paul George supporting cast couldn't get the job done. And that's an absolute no-no at home, you know, with your playoff season on the line. You know, they got them, you know, they're putting they're gassing up the boats to Cabo. They're putting the fuel in there. You know, it's up to you guys to slow them up, you know, and if they come to Phoenix playing like they did in this last game, it is a done deal. It's done deal. The Suns go to the NBA Finals, and will Chris Paul get a chance to finally get a ring? Will he get
Finally. And I think if he does go, I think they have a really good chance of playing with whoever comes out of there. I think that's so the Suns play. Let's see, when they play again tomorrow.
Monday night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. The NBA. You mean tonight?
Tonight. No. Suns play. Well, yeah. Suns play tonight.
Whatever the date was. Yeah.
Suns play tonight for TV land, for the radio. We'll update you. We'll give you an update.
There you go. There you go. Whatever. We'll move it around. I was thinking, what day was that?
Yeah, we're in the future's past, ladies and gentlemen. Don't spend a lot of time. Just drink a beer and forget about it.
There you go. I like it. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a great game. And then the other game is scheduled for. Let's see.
Okay, we got the Bucks and Hawks. They're scheduled
for two. Tuesday night tonight.
Future's past, y'all.
Yeah. So that would be cool. So what do you think about Atlanta? What do you think about the Bucks? Are the Bucks just too much?
I think so. I think the Bucks are too I'll say the Bucks have too much depth.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
and Atlanta is as much as I love them and I want us and I appreciate and give y'all flowers and your props for defeating the #1 seed and getting as far as you did in the playoffs. But as Trae Young goes, the team goes.
Yeah.
And these guys off the bench for Milwaukee, these are long guys. They play D, and when their shot is on, it's on. So
yeah.
I don't think that Atlanta has the team to beat the Bucks.
I agree with
the
you.
Bucks just fall apart. If they just fall apart and lose their shooting, then then the basketball gods have rained down on Atlanta. But the depth and the coach, well, can't say the coaching because Nate Robinson is a pretty good coach. So I'll just say it's players. It comes down to the players. Bucks have more experienced players than the Hawks, and that's what's going to do them in. I want it to go. I still believe that it could go 7, maybe 6, maybe, but we'll see. But
it's a game. Yeah, game 1, the Hawks won by 3. Mm-hmm. Game 2, they lost by 25.
Right.
Game 3, they lost by a 9 or a 10. No, 11. On my bad. I'm going backward. No, there was no lack of trying. I mean, they were. Right. I mean, they're playing hard, the Hawks. But I just that if they don't make it any further, I think they accomplished a lot this year. Right. I think they. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot to, and I think with some depth on the bench going forward, for next year, could definitely be a team to really watch out for, to really have a significant chance to win. Because man, they're playing it, they're bringing it. You know what I'm saying? So they have nothing to be. I mean, I know it's all about winning. I get it, but man, for them to make it this far, and like you said, they don't have the depth. I mean, they just don't have the depth. So I mean, Trae Young. I mean, a kid's break. I mean, he had an off night in game 2. Mm-hmm. Then he criticized himself and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna," but he can't. I mean, there's only so much he could do. Right. And like I said, they're playing their hearts out. It's just, I think Giannis and them are just a little bit much for him. You know what I'm saying? I think, but we have seen Milwaukee break down.
Right, we have absolutely. We have seen them go. Just act like they forgot how to play, or they get a cold. It's like when the shooting's off, the whole game is off for Milwaukee. That's their Achilles heel. Because while their shooting's off, that's when Trae will hit that 3 and everybody in Gallinari will hit 1. And now everybody's, the momentum shifts. And then there you go, So
what I think, and that's where I can see maybe Milwaukee, if they come out, I mean, basically, if they come out from game 4 flat, and the Hawks can win, I mean, that would put it 2-2, which would make it go 6. But if Milwaukee wins again, a third one, I mean, the Hawks might be able to squeeze one more out of it. I don't know. Like I said, they're going to go down swinging. There's no doubt about it. And but Milwaukee really, I mean, they've looked pretty dominant. You know what I mean? Which I don't know. Everybody has the same thing. Like, oh, this is a team that we've been expecting them to be, and they never had. I don't. So we'll see. I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what actually conspires off the deal. We will. Yeah, we'll see what we see what we got. Hopefully everything, like I said, I think was definitely great series. Both of them are going to be good series, and it's been a lot of great basketball. And then here, I think in the next couple of days, we'll have an NBA final for somebody to. I think we'll definitely know who's going. I believe it's probably going to be Milwaukee and the Suns.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Be a Suns Bucks championship, and I believe, although I believe it'll be a 7-game series, it could go either way. But I believe that Phoenix might have the same issue with Milwaukee as Atlanta does.
May run out. May run out of
a better. They have a better team, a full team, as opposed to.
There's no.
They both. It's going to be 7. It's going to be 7 games. It's just,
We'll see. Like
I said, we'll have to see because although I have faith, we said that one of the two were going to be in the finals, Phoenix or Utah. We said one of those two teams was going to be in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
or the finals.
Yeah.
Well, we said they were going to be in the Western Conference Finals, but we that the Clippers were going to be what they are. The Lakers hurt.
Right.
You can't predict injuries.
No.
It played out the way that it was supposed to. Hot seed, and they're doing their thing on the brink of eliminating the Clippers.
Yeah.
Becoming, going to the Western Conference Finals in the last 25, 30 years.
Been a long time.
30?
Been a long night. Yeah. So, well, hey, let's go pay some bills. We get back, we'll talk a little bit more about Clippers, possibly Clippers and the Suns a little bit, and then we'll continue on right here on the Sportsbook. We appreciate everybody tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Me and Big Lou right here on Cam Radio, where we go ham. All right. Cam Radio, we go ham with your boy Tony G and Big Lou on the Sports Book. What's happening? Appreciate you guys tuning in every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Sports Book. We cover some gambling, some sporting events, anything that's going on. Try to be in the main loop of everything. We're just talking about the series. If you just tune in, we're talking about the series with the Suns and the series with the Clippers and the Suns and the series with Milwaukee and the Hawks. And it looks like you said, he won't. Trae Young will not play tomorrow.
Yeah, it's questionable tomorrow. He has a bone bruise in his foot, so he's and everybody knows foot, ankle, anything doing with that, it's likely he won't be able to go. And if he does, he's only going to be 30-40%. Which is not going to be enough. And, if he doesn't play, then, Bucks move on. It's looking very much like a Bucks-Sun finals.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to
say that.
Atlanta out.
Right.
I'm pulling up I am pulling up. All right, so let's look at that. So if he don't play, covering the spread. Let's see what we got. Mm-hmm. All right. So Milwaukee is a 7-point favorite over Atlanta.
Okay.
The over's 219. If he doesn't play, you got to put your money on Milwaukee minus 7. I don't even see them being.
I mean, you just got to.
They've covered the spread. This is a really good bet. In fact, I'm marking it down. If he is signed out tomorrow 100%, because I know right now it's still questionable.
Yeah, it's still questionable right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go with Milwaukee. There's no doubt about it. Now the other one, we'll cover that too. So they got the Clippers plus 6.5 against Phoenix. The over's 212. Now I like the under in this because these games they haven't 160 points combined, 100, they haven't even by 200. This has been like a real dog kind of series. And I like I said, I would take Phoenix under. And Kawhi is out 100%. And be honest with you, in a parlay, I think I would take Phoenix -6, the under in Phoenix 212, and take Milwaukee Bucks in a parlay. And I think that would be a very good very good bet. Yeah, that's kind of one of those things. The injuries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Injuries make it hard, but it makes it easy, when it comes to your money. I agree. I would take those two bets.
Yeah.
Because of the basketball, because of the basketball part of it. If Trae Young's not playing,
Atlanta doesn't. Yeah, they
don't stand a chance.
Yeah,
because that was the threat. And
right,
and he shoot it, and it depends on, where the bruise is. They can probably shoot it with something, didn't it? But still,
ooh, yeah,
point guard, and your foot's hurt. I mean, it's like when AD tried to go back out and play.
Right, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
It was of no avail. So, yeah, if it's unfortunate for Atlanta. Those guys fought hard, but it's part of the game. And I'm gonna have to go with what my good friend Tony G said. I am going to
parlay them. Yeah,
parlay.
Yeah. It's just kind of how it goes.
Right. And I'll know if I'm successful next week when we.
There you go. When we come, that's right. When we're on. So, have you looked at the NFL schedule at all?
I did take a peek at it. I was so much into basketball this week.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get a chance to really dive in. I've skimmed across a little NFL, tried to catch a little baseball too.
Yeah, I was a reason why
I was all in basketball.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, let's.
Opening day is Dallas Cowboys versus Tampa Bay. Yeah. I thought that was an interesting play.
Interesting game. Good matchup.
Oh yeah. It would definitely be.
Dallas is trying to reclaim they're trying to reclaim their stake in the NFC the top tier guys in the NFC. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk, but there's always a lot of talk. But we'll see when they get on the field. I'm pretty sure Dak's going to be ready to go. Is. And we'll just see how all of the changes and additions they've made, how can that help? I think they should have strengthened their cornerback play. But that's me. But we'll see where it goes.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of they lined up. It's kind of like they bulked up the offense, okay, which is okay, that makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, the defense I think lacks so much that it doesn't really matter. And I don't even know how good the offense really is because they were always playing from behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know people hate to hear that and they're like, I said, no, really, man, I'm telling you, they were behind by 20 or 15. And the defense were playing soft. That's why it's just a fact of the matter. I mean, it doesn't – even saying that, if you throw for 10,000 yards and you guys go 3-13, who really cares?
Right. You're 3-13. It's a losing record at the end of the day. And what I believe the formula is there.
It doesn't matter,
What I believe the formula for this season is, and I think it's going to bite them hard. I believe that they're going to be a run the scoreboard up type. They think if we run it up, we don't have to play catch up.
Oh yeah. I mean that's
and that's all right. What about the back end of your defense, your linebackers and your corners and your safeties? What's going on back there? I'm I'm okay with the draft pick. The linebacker from Michigan. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But that's development. That's development. If but we'll see if he picks up quick and he's ready to play, then so be it. But it's they're airing the ball in this league. I don't think Dallas can outscore people. Especially not Tampa. You're not outscoring Brady.
Yeah.
Not with all the weapons that he has that
Right.
have experience with him and have won a championship with him. And what everybody think about Tampa Bay is not going to happen. They think they're going to have that Super Bowl hangover. I don't think so. Not the way Brady thinks.
And
I'm not necessarily a Brady guy. I just, give props to. Well, I give props where props are due.
Yeah.
That's why he's great. His philosophy has washed over that whole facility. And now that they've got a trophy in the case to prove that, I don't think it'll never be the way it was until after he leaves.
Yeah, they all bought in and they got they got the trophy to go with it. And so it's you know what I mean? How you like me now? That's pretty much what it is. How you like me now? Because I came, I did, I conquered, I brought you where I said, and that's okay. Sounds like it's just kind of
he did it, so you can't argue it because it was done.
Absolutely not. I think they'll be taunted. I mean, they're going to be tough. I mean, provided no injuries, it's the same. This season is going to be 17 games instead of 16 games. So, a lot of people are speculating a lot of more injuries and this and that. And I mean, it kind of comes with the turf.
Yeah.
No pun intended. It's a very violent sport. And there's going to be a lot of injuries. And it's just, and adding one more game, I mean, may be a factor. But I think, I don't know. I think you have to. I don't know. I think you just gotta. It just goes with the territory.
Right. You can't prepare for it. You just gotta deal with it once it happens.
It may expand some. It may give some. The rosters, they allow the rosters to be a little bit bigger, so it's going to give some more guys some opportunities. And I think that's where those development leagues could be. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I think that
handy for a 17-game season.
Right. I mean, but my thing is what I don't understand is why not have the developing league playing at the same time that they're playing. And the reason being is the development league isn't there to really make money. It's not. It just, So if you got whatever, the Dallas Cowboy Juniors playing, but you need someone like, hey, pull up that guard or pull up the center, bring him up the neck. I mean, it's just kind of like always a rotating. And like I said, it can't be pay. I mean, you're talking about, if you paid everybody on the team $35,000 a year or $40,000 a year, and you made it a 7-person team on the field. I mean, you could do whatever you want. It's your league. I mean, you're just trying to develop players and have them in your little system. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a long time ago. If you ever go watch Calvary or Evangel, when we used to coach Little League football a long time ago, when we played those little 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, they ran the same offense from that time to the time they were at the high school. So whatever kids made it, it's the same. It's just repetitive. Oh, I know that. I know that in my sleep. We're doing the same. That's all they do. I mean, it's just
the same scenario. My
same scenario.
Already conditioned for it.
Right. So would that be great to have?
So you're not pulling me off the street to come and practice and hopefully pass physical.
Right.
We're ready. We're field ready. So you pull and plug, develop, borrow something from baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely in baseball, man.
Grapefruit League, same thing.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, the minors are a huge factor in baseball. Like I said, I don't know why football has. I really think it comes down to nobody wants to give up the piece of the pie,
Right.
and I get it. Baseball has a lot more. There's a lot more money in baseball because there's a lot more games.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more TV contract. You know what I mean? It's just can't compare it. It's like the NFL gets 17 or whatever, however many games total, whatever. But baseball has 150, 153 games, and they got 30 teams. And I mean, it's the revenue that they can make. It's just, and that may be some of it. But it's the shame is that there hasn't been a league really to, like I said, they got this other league going. There's really nobody in the stands, and it's just they're using it as a true development. And the only thing they do is they board them. They board them and they feed them. They don't pay them. Kind of like you've seen a lot of these minor league teams that have done, they've eliminated some, because they really can't make any money if they can't have the concession stand. You know what I mean? Can't just make money off the door.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You gotta get all the money, but
absolutely.
But it'll be like I said, see what comes of this league, and then I know somebody's bought the rights to the XFL again. But the other league, the one that went out last year that had a couple games.
TheP.C.X.N or that.
Yeah, that was actually wasn't one guy maybe.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was. But they didn't have enough money, and that's their problem with football. I get another problem it is when you talk about, each team has to have, 75 people. When you talk about, well, hey, we're going to have a football team. It's going to have 45 players. It's going to have 8 coaches or, whatever. It's got to have a ball. Before you know it, you got 100 people on the payroll. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Well, baseball is like 18, total. Mm-hmm. Big difference. So that could be that's another factor too. But the 7-7, what's the other? Our friends football league. What are they set? They play 7-7, 7-on.
Yeah. I think it's a 7-on-7.
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 Yeah. So that's possible. I don't know. Obviously that'd be different, but you still would have people in your system learning your plays, which isn't a bad thing. Right. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, man. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. All we can definitely do. We're going to pay some bills, man. I want to thank everyone, Big Lou, everybody for always tuning in on Tuesday nights, always talking sportsbook. Got a lot of good stuff coming up here. So, man, just stay tuned right here on KM Radio where we go ham. Cam Radio, we go ham with your boy Tony G and Big Lou. Tuesday night, sports book, talking some sports. Always a pleasure. So let me ask you this: if Kawhi, if the Clippers don't win, do you think the Clippers need to move on from Kawhi? Stephen A's all on that. He is. He thinks that the Clippers should move on from him.
I'm not so sure. And I don't think that they need to move on from Paul George either. Paul George is going to be a 2 or a 3 wherever he goes. He can't go anywhere and be a 1. We saw that in OKC.
Right.
So I don't think they should get rid of neither one of them. I just think, I think that it was the injuries that, hurt them this season. Yes, some of that play was too. But now that you know if Kawhi was out there, different scenario. We can have a different conversation now. So, we had to take that into consideration. But I get it with the Clippers. Hey, we paid this guy a lot of money to come here.
Right.
We haven't seen return on investment, which I think they should be proud of where they are, or where they are with, this season. If they were to lose, they don't have to hang their head on anything.
No, they're
I
relevant.
got
They're
hurt.
making.
They made it to the Western Conference Finals. Relax. It's
Yeah.
been a long time, people. So, and they made it further than the Lakers. So they can, that's something they can wear on their hat in the bars and, in the pubs or whatever. But
That's true. That's very true.
I don't now. I understand. Well, I understand what they're talking about because of the rumors out there with the family saying they're unhappy. With the way things are going and the way they're handling Kawhi and this, that, and the third. I get that part. And maybe they probably ain't trying to influence him on leaving, but I don't think they should get rid of him. Now, if he leaves, we're one way or the other on that with Kawhi because we don't know exactly where his head is sometimes. Yeah. Now, if he decides to leave, we be like, well, it's Kawhi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then then they start to scratch.
Well, he's not. I mean, the bottom line is he's not a. He's a leader, but he's a quiet leader. He's not very boisterous.
Gameplay. He leads, scores, and do what he does on the floor. Yeah,
he's just different. Right. Everybody's different. I mean, I think you have a good point. I mean, I think, like I say, you listen to Stephen A. and all. He's cut them. The thing is they've come very far. You're making Clipper basketball relevant. Hey, that's an accomplishment in itself, and build off it. Don't just go, oh, we didn't win a championship the first 2 years. He's got to go or whatever. I mean, because I think maybe there's got to be some. I mean, I'm sure he got some money. I mean, I know he got paid, but if they could get another 2 or 3 there, just kind of helps with some depth. Because like when when he's not having a great night. They don't have to lose. They can just they can win, maybe not by 10, but maybe by 3. Right. Because you would think like, hey man, somebody I know he brings so much to the table, but there's a lot of good guys out there that can still play ball that get overlooked. I make this reference a lot. Do you remember the movie Moneyball?
Yes.
You remember that? Well, yes. we need
the birth of analytics. I believe Moneyball birthed analytics.
I agree. I mean, it's just we need a guy that hit. No, we need a guy that gets on base. What do we need? We need Joe Smith. Right. Who's that? We can get him for $240,000. And I think because I think that going back to all sports, I understand everybody's trying to get money. And I get it. It's all business. But at the end of the day, there's only so much pie that we could break up into so much. And you only can get so much, and I can only get so much, and somebody else, because too much pie goes over here. There's not enough pie to go over here. I mean, it's just basic mathematics. And I think a lot of guys are overlooked. Basketball does a good job too with the D League. You know what I'm saying? I think, that's them guys come in. But I also think that, like you said, you just got to build. You got to build off it. I think that's the name of the game. But I think there's some people out there that they can get in a reasonable amount of money that would complement him. Because that's just the name of the game. The other thing is we watched Brooklyn. They had 3 bigs, 3 superstars. Mm-hmm. What if they had 1 superstar and 7 really good players?
Right.
The NBA used to be like that.
And
you know what I'm saying? The NBA used to be like that.
A bunch of good role players, 2 good guards, people.
Look at the Bulls.
There.
Yeah.
That you can count on in the stretch so that you can pick when you turn your switch on, and when you have to turn it on, when you can pick when you want to turn it up, or you say, okay, we're shooting lousy, let me turn my switch on, get my guys going, now I can turn it off and let them do their thing.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it used to be that way. But
yeah, it used to be that way. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, if Brooklyn brings everybody back, maybe one of them will be available. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But there's got to be. But you want to. I think I'm not 100%. You want to have longevity of a solid foundation of a franchise.
Right.
You don't want to become into losers, and it's doesn't even matter. It gets to where it just doesn't matter because you've lost so long. So you definitely don't want that. But I think, for the long time, the Clippers and the Golden State, they were, whoever heard,
right, for a long
nobody
time.
ever really, before Golden State started winning, with Steph and all of them, nobody talked about Golden State. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean?
Talk about them
at all.
They didn't talk about them. We had to go all the way back to the
70s.
Not really the 70s, but the
they had a good team in the
even Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they wanted it.
Iverson, Melo, Kenyon Martin. We had to go back there but those were the Nuggets. Those weren't even they were the Nuggets.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I know it was Jackson, Hardaway. Was it Hardaway?
Yeah, they had a decent team. They had a little flash.
Get us up and let us know what that squad was that I'm talking about. Back in the 80s when the Golden State Warriors had their little run, they had a squad. I have to look it up.
Look at Milwaukee before. Look at Milwaukee.
Right. Look at Milwaukee.
They've had a couple. Bob Lanier played there.
Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah, they've had some, but it's not just like the Clippers. Before Kawhi wasn't. Every now and then.
The Baron Davis days.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Those days.
It just. So I said, build off it, make it a good.
It's been a while, so these guys have nothing to hang their head on if they don't make it. They have nothing to hang their head on. I believe Brooklyn don't have anything to hang their head on. Now, albeit, they say, Shaq says they're a super team. All three of them been there before. Championship or bust. Shaq says a bust because they've all been there. They all get the accolades. You've all been on winning teams. You played with winning teams. You guys should figure it out. But I don't think it's a bust because of injuries. Now, if they weren't injured and they lost, absolutely it's their fault. But, even though injuries is a part of it, that's what happens. Super teams, bench depth. So you got to rely on the big three, the money makers, the shot takers, the go-getters. You got to rely on them because if we paid you guys, we can't afford your backups. So, you know what I'm saying? So we have to rely heavily on you guys.
Oh, and they did, and it showed. And it showed. Yeah. There was no doubt about it. It showed. It showed. It just I'd keep them and just try to rebuild and get everybody healthy.
Right.
And just kind of move it in the good news is New York basketball is on the positive roll. Mm-hmm. I think obviously the Nets have nothing, but Brooklyn has way more talent. But New York City's
New York basketball is in the talk again.
Yeah, I think not Brooklyn, but New York. I know they're both in New York, but I'm saying New York maybe wasn't as good as they thought they were. I think because after watching that, and I was listening to someone, and you really look at their schedule, they were pretty good, and their schedule fit them well. And they had a good season, but they just weren't as good as they have a lot to build off. It's not like I said, we put so much, or media put so much emphasis on today, and it's like, man, there is a tomorrow. Build on the future and make it a great place to be for people that want to come. Because if one of those New York teams wins the championship, all of a sudden, I want to go to New York. You know what I'm saying? New York's cool. Yeah, New York's a good place. It's a great city, but I'm saying it's a great,
And to bring a championship to New York, you are automatically put in the upper echelon of players, hands down. If you're that guy to go to New York and bring a championship back to the New York Knicks, oh my goodness.
Yeah. And here's the thing. And if you do it, you could build your brand in one of the largest markets in the country.
Absolutely.
You're talking about major deal. And that was definitely a reason why LeBron went to LA. He said it. It wasn't about necessarily the basketball or the basketball money, but it was, what else can I do?
Yeah.
He's
I want to do after basketball.
Right. He's a mogul. He's a billionaire kind of guy. Owns a huge production. A huge production. Yeah, he's a business guy. He's surrounded himself, and he's made a lot of money, and he's trying to make even more. And to him, LA was a business decision. And I get it. And the same thing in New York. It's a heck of a city, man. You want to talk about, Milwaukee, probably not so much. Atlanta, not as much. Not as bad as Milwaukee. Milwaukee's kind of out there. But just your smaller markets. Everybody can't be in New York and LA. You know what I mean? I know everybody wants to be, but it's not. And then till a few years ago, Golden State was probably a big market, but not who cares about, you know what I mean? But now all of a sudden it's like, maybe. Absolutely. That's true. I think they will definitely, they're all moving in the right directions. I think, like I said, and just like Utah.
Yeah.
Utah had a great season. They were the number one seed. They had injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have anything to hang their head. I think they go, hey, man, little tweaking, little this, little that, little healthy, a little health. Because, man, like I said, they were running it, you know what I mean? And then they got hit some injuries in the playoffs. And that's a bad team, man. That's a bad team. And it's funny because nobody's really – they're still talking about L.A. and they're still talking about Brooklyn. It's not talking about Utah very much. They other than, they had a pretty good season.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll be back too.
Even and before we put a cap on the injury thing, I read an article where the Lakers even let go of their trainer because of the injuries.
I saw that. That was a lot to put on that guy.
Wow. Wow.
I know, right?
It's the trainer's fault. He has nothing to do once they leave the facility. LeBron pays, 6 figures alone for training. Even though other guys can't do that, but I'm pretty sure LeBron's budget is out of what he makes. He budgets fitness, and all athletes do the same thing on their level. You just have to budget a certain amount to development and training of your body.
Absolutely.
When the sport that you do makes you a substantial amount of money, of course, I am going to invest some of that money into my body, since that's just what it does.
Right.
It's like working on race cars, for example, but I'm not willing to invest into buying the proper tools and the top of the line tools to keep these motors running and winning. It's like, you know what? Well, I know I got a $250,000 motor in here, but I'm pretty sure those Walmart tools are going to be, nothing against Walmart.
Yeah, nothing against Walmart. Yeah, I get it.
Walmart, but there are some tools out there
that are custom made. Snap-on and Mako, all those people, they make they make certain tools for certain applications.
Right.
That's all that tool does is one thing.
Yeah.
And you can't beat it. It's hard to beat a specialty tool.
Right.
With you're 100%. And that was to blame them. I guess that was just to save face or whatever. I don't know. That's kind of a weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird,
Shoot the messenger, right? Shoot the messenger.
They're inside. They know better than we do. It's just hard for me to understand.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Hey man, I want to thank everyone for winding down this Tuesday night, 8:00 on our favorite KM radio. Like I always tell you guys, listen to the station, man. There's a lot of good shows, a lot of good music. There's a great array of talent on the station. So if you guys, all right, you can listen to it at work. You can listen to it off your phone, on your earbuds while you're at work or whatever you're doing. Man, listen to the show, whether it's our show or another show. Just show support for the station. And I just want to thank everyone again for everybody listening and watching us every Tuesday night, 8:00. Me and Big Lou, the Sports Book, right here on KM Radio. We go ham.
Yeah.